I want to introduce our speaker, and this is Sylvie Beljanski. Did I say that
Correct.
close?
Absolutely correct. Thank you.
Oh, you are welcome. Um, and I just want to welcome you again for being here and to give you a little background. She's a French lawyer by trade. You'll notice her accent if you didn't already. It's beautiful, by the way. And a health advocate for holistic medicine, an author, an entrepreneur, and founder and vice president of the Beljanski Foundation and CEO of Mason Beljanski International Dietary Supplement Company. What a wonderful, wonderful list of wonderful things that you do. So I'm excited to have you here. Um, and I wanted to give you an opportunity to share a little bit more about yourself if you'd like to. And then after that, I've been asking everybody the same question to kind of get us started off, and we'll go from there.
Very good. Well, thank you for having me today. I was very excited when you contacted me about this topic, from exhausted to energized, because I feel so lucky. So it is so precious for me to have a passion. And every morning I don't wake up to go to work. I wake up to go to my passion, to fulfill my passion. And I know that gives me an energy from morning to evening for the past 30 years. So I would like to share, I love the opportunity to share my story, because it was I did not, was not born with this bliss. I just came out of a crisis. And we all come out of a crisis now. This pandemic has made a lot of people absolutely exhausted. And it is time maybe to think differently about what is happening and try to find the silver linings that maybe will bring you closer to what is your passion. I grew up in a family in France, in Paris, in a family of scientists. They are scientists for 3-4 generations. And my father was a biologist at the Pasteur Institute in Paris, and he was passionate about his work, his research. And as a little girl, I felt, he was not paying attention to me. I did not have parents that were devoted to me. I mean, I was well taken care of. I was well fed. I was sent to a good school, but they were not paying attention to me, and I was resentful for that. And fast forward at about 10 years, I am now an adolescent, and our home is filled again and again of people coming with cancer. And my father was helping them with his discoveries. They did not understand what the discoveries were about. I did not want to understand. I was a selfish little brat. I wanted my parents and my dad to look at me, to pay attention to me. And I said, when I grow up, I'll never get involved into that. Fast forward a few more years, now the French president of the Republic, François Mitterrand, is sick with advanced prostate cancer. The doctor said that he is in terminal phase. He's not going to finish his second term, and the country should get ready for early elections. But it's a French story, so the president has a mistress, and the mistress knows about a good doctor who has good results with prostate cancer because he's using my father's products. And that's how François Mitterrand started to take my father's products. And as we know, he was able, against all odds, to finish his second term.
Yeah.
Now, fast forward a few more years, Mitterrand finally passed away, and the Minister of Health prime minister, secretary of health, we would say here, who was very infuriated that the president was taking those natural products, because that was giving some kind of legitimacy to natural products and to integrative medicine, organized a raid with a SWAT team to destroy my father, to destroy his laboratory, to arrest my dad, arrest my mom, arrest the doctors who were working with them. There was dogs really going after the people, helicopter, machine guns, and no warrant, and they seized everything.
Oh
and I'm
my
a
God.
lawyer at the time, because I said, I don't want to get involved into research. And suddenly I have to get involved from a legal point of view to take care of the legal defense of my parents. And the more I dig in the legal file, the more I understand that they are really something fishy about this entire case, something that doesn't add up. And they are more trying to destroy evidence than to bring them to trial. And finally, my father passes away without having ever his day in court, a date for trial.
Oh.
So I really, at this point, I understand that what is happening, it's not about my father, it's not about my mother, it's not about what was happening in this laboratory, it's not about the dietary supplements. It is about destroying the opportunity to treat cancer in a natural way. So I took the case to the European Court of Human Rights. We won an unanimous decision, but that was not enough. The real kernel of the issue was to get confirmation of my father's research and share this wealth of knowledge with the world. That's why I decided to start this non-for-profit organization, the Beljanski Foundation, here in New York City. It's a 501c3. And I started to partnerships with academic institutions to have academic institutions continue the research, validate the research of my father with natural compounds. And that is so important, because as long as there is no scientific publication reproducible made by an academic institution with good reputation, we'll always say it's hocus pocus, it's natural, it's not proven, let's dismiss it.
Right.
So that's why I wanted to have all those peer-reviewed publications confirming that indeed those natural compounds were destroying cancer cells on different kind of cancer without toxicity and working in synergy with chemotherapies. And that is the beauty and the uniqueness of my father's discoveries. For people who are in a health profession, I want quickly to explain that my father found that there is really a difference between cancer DNA and healthy DNA at the secondary structure of the DNA. And he found molecules which are able to recognize that difference and selectively block cancer DNA without touching healthy DNA. So there is, because it is selective, no side effect, no toxicity. And because you have one DNA from head to toe, then it's going to go to know where there are cancer cells and go target those cancer cells wherever they are located. So we are speaking of prostate cancer, and that's the research we confirmed with Columbia University. Ovarian cancer, pancreatic cancer, that research was confirmed with Kansas University Medical Center. We also had a clinical trial at Cancer Treatment Centers of America to help with immune system and another little RNA fragments that help boost naturally the white blood cells and platelets. And I am passionate about that. It is so beautiful to be able to see that we are able to make a difference in people's lives.
Oh yeah.
And since that, have had the opportunity to meet a number of integrative doctors. And
Mm.
I have noticed that most of integrative doctors are passionate about what they are doing. And they
Right.
came to integrative medicine after a personal crisis. And that crisis was kind of wake-up call that made them change from what they had learned at medicine school to choose another way of practicing health. And in a way that is much more attuned with their values and make them joy because they see they can make a difference in people's lives. And to my knowledge, there is no greater joy than to be able to make a difference. So that's why I love to speak about what we are doing. I love to speak about this research and explain what it is about, explain that share that with health professionals, that there are out there molecules that they can use also to make a difference in the people of the lives that they touch and their patients.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's amazing work that you do and that your foundation does, not only present day, but continuing to extend your father's work. And one of the reasons that I really reached out to you was because I wanted for you to not only share what you're doing, but also to provide the insight into the connection between the natural support that a body can have to heal itself, whether it's from cancer. I use the word heal loosely, but to get better from, to change, besides, well, in addition to all of the other things that we have ailments for. And a lot of these that what the healthcare and caregivers are actually experiencing is due to burnout, through system overload. You know, they're not getting nutrition. Well, they're getting nutrition, but maybe not valued nutrition, and the environment isn't as supportive. And I know that the research that you continue to support really speaks into how those external, like your environment, but also the internal, so the things that you put in your mouth and how your body works, plays a role on your overall health.
Absolutely, absolutely. And one of the main discoveries, the cornerstone discovery of my father's work, is that cancer is not only result from a mutation, it mostly results from a cumulative and progressive destabilization of the DNA that results from environmental toxins. So everything, of course, we cannot control the air, but we can control the quality of the water that we are drinking. We can, filtrate the water. We can choose organic products. We can, the drugs are also that we are taking sometimes also are very destabilizing for the DNA. Radiations, of course, are destabilizing. All those things, it's a kind of mindset and choosing what is best for you. Of course, I mean, health treatments and choosing natural approach is part of this being conscious of what is going on in your life. You cannot just compartment everything and say, okay, I'm going to be conscious about that, but I am going to be sloppy in my choices about something else. You work on becoming more and more conscious. And it's about the lectures that you are making, the connections that you are making, and you cannot disconnect what you are doing for yourself from what you are doing to other people. I think the exhaustion comes from disconnection, the disconnect. When everything is aligned, your value, what you are happy, what you are bringing, what you are happy doing, what you are bringing to the world, what you are bringing to other people, then everything becomes energizing, because everything is a source of joy. And you are happy when you are making helping other people, you are happy when you are making the right choices for yourself. But when you let yourself down, that's when you get exhausted, in my experience.
Yes. And I can really relate to that, because that is in the same vein of what I experienced as well. You know, that exhaustion came from there really being a disconnect, not only a disconnect in my career and how I was interacting with my patients, but it exploded into everything. You know, my relationship with my family, my friends, coworkers, and even myself. And it was amazing once I realized that I had the choice to change that, to really go through that, to walk that path, to work back towards something that I am passionate about. And as you said, I loved how you started, that you don't wake up every day and go to work. You wake up every day and, you know, go to your passion. And that's just beautiful. I really love that. And I would love for you to speak into and to talk about how that process was a little bit for you, because in sharing your wonderful story with us, you know, there was a point that you had said, there's no way I'm getting involved in this work, and now you are leading the charge, to and for this work to continue and to be scientifically, you know, verified and all of these wonderful things. So how was that process for you?
It became progressively. I started, as I told you, with the legal defense, which was where I was coming from. But as I realized that it was something bigger, that I felt at some point that I was given an opportunity to do something bigger than legal work, to make a difference in the world by carrying a legacy which was meaningful. Because this knowledge, this wealth of knowledge, how to address cancer and other diseases naturally without toxicity, deserves to be shared, to be known. And beyond the scientific publications that nobody reads, I mean, they are on our website, beljanski.org,
Right.
but I know nobody reads scientific papers, however beautifully written they are. I decided that I was going to speak about it. I was going to share this information the best I could, although I don't have the scientific background. I was going to see, when I understood how beautiful it was, I wanted to share it. And that's my passion. And that makes me happy to share. Every time I have the opportunity to explain and to see people get excited about what this knowledge how this knowledge can change their lives and change the lives of the people they know, they take care of, and they love. I wrote a book. I wrote a book about the story. I wrote it as an easy. I wanted to read it as a novel. I wanted to have people to touch as many people as possible. I wrote it very, very easily. I mean, there is all the science they need to know, but I wanted to make it easy to touch as many lives as possible. And that's really this. I found what my purpose. My purpose is to be a layperson spokeswoman for this beautiful research. And I think that finding your purpose, whatever it is what makes you joy. because then everything makes sense. And what I discovered is that actually my legal background was helpful. The fact that I actually am French, even if it is I'm speaking broken English, still speaking broken English. I mean, it helps me because I speak in France and here, so I reach twice more people.
Yes.
And everything, you turn everything, every handicap, into something that becomes positive.
I like that. That is really beautiful in taking. Often we see things that are what we might personally label as a disadvantage, as you can turn around and create a strength out of that, especially when you are connected to your purpose, or we've also called it your why or your goals. You know, when you're connected into those, it really allows you to, if you choose to take that opportunity to excel, and then take what might have been a weakness and turn it into something that can really help to serve your passion. And go ahead.
I have seen a lot of integrative doctors coming from years of traditional, conventional medicine, where they said they were miserable over there. And
Yes.
but I've never seen somebody doing integrative medicine going conventional. Never, never.
Yeah.
And all the doctors I have met who were moving to integrative, all of them said, this finally, it was scary. It was a big gap, but finally I'm doing the medicine I love.
Yes, and I think that that's really, and I'm noticing that that too, in the sense that people, when they're going more of the holistic or the integrative route, that they're finding those pieces or the gaps and reconnecting honestly to the passion that often got them into the medical field in the first place.
And they are more healthy also. They are more healthy. They are more healthy because they are doing something they love, but also because they are doing what they preach. And they get more involved into a number of ways, lifestyle, that are more healthy and are just ignored by conventional medicine. Ignored. Beyond giving a drug, pop a pill, pop a pill, pop a pill. That's not the recipe for health. That's not being vibrant.
Yeah. No, and I think, and I notice, and I'm hoping that that's the shift, because there are lots of practitioners out there in the healthcare world that realize that that gap is there, and they are looking to other resources and other things that are supporting before they go to just the pill, you know, or whatever, the quick fix, so to speak. And I know that something that I witnessed and continue to witness is there's still the society aspect a little bit of the quick fix. You know, we're getting the momentum to do some more natural based things for sure. And I also still feel some of those, there's still people out there that are like, just give me the quick fix. I don't want to go and figure out what my passion is, or what, you know, what's going to make me happy. I just want this pain or this other thing to really go away. And the reality is that by the holistic, or, you know, the integrative medicine, is it's looking at the body and starting to give the body the support it needs to heal itself,
to heal itself, and give it the time also to do that work.
Exactly.
I see that with cancer people, I mean, we see that, you know, when they start to take those products, it gives them some time, the time they need, but they have to do the work to understand why they got sick in the first place. address
Yes.
the causes, the emotional causes underlying the disease, address the stress, address the conflict, and address the way they mistreat themselves with
Right.
making a number of poor choices very often. And it's not an easy work, but all the people who are look at cancer as an opportunity to change their life are thriving, and they are thriving.
And that's a beautiful thing, and it also it just speaks to me how we were actually talking about this a little bit earlier, how the body is kind of your warning system, or telling you that there's something that it needs support in or help through. And when we are able to understand that that's there, and that like for some people it takes getting cancer for there to be a realization that they get to change their life, and for the better, through overcoming not only cancer, but as you were just saying, the the demons, or the emotions that are there that led to the dysfunction, or the dis-ease in the first place. And I really think that this is hugely important. Yes, we're talking about cancer and how it affects, and the healing process itself with the in a more integrative approach, but I can also see how this hugely applies to everyone on this planet, and especially in the healthcare field, when you are looking to care for others, and yet you feel your own breakdown happening. You feel the aches and pains, and the exhaustion, and the brain fog, and all of these things, as you're trying to support another person, through being that provider. And it's just amazing how, if as just the healthcare team can start to implement some of the things that you're doing with your cancer patients, it can really change the way they live and function, and allow them to be that complete practitioner, not the one that's as you said, in different compartments, like I'm just going to take care of this part of me and let the rest of it go to the wayside.
And very encouraging, because when people start to get better, then it's kind of a positive cycle, virtuous cycle, where they want to address, they get the energy and the optimism to address other places.
Yes.
It's like you cannot change everything at once. You have to start somewhere, and starting physically, getting better physically, giving some rest physically to your body, detoxify it, and taking care of it is the easiest, actually, way to start. And when people start to feel better, then they start to get, they want to go to the next step. Generally,
Right.
not always, but generally. And that's when the magic happens for themselves and for their family.
Exactly. Yes. And I love the point of the starting with the one thing. And for you, the one thing is the body. It is taking care of what the body physically needs, as well. And I can personally speak into, there was a time in my life that the doctor, I was having some issues, and they thought that I might actually be coming down, or having MS style symptoms. And what it turned out to be, it was my body saying, you're burned out, is basically what it was. And I didn't listen to it at that point in time. And it was interesting, because I was blessed with a physician that, after we made sure everything else was good with a few tests, he looked at me and he's like, it's your stress. We got to figure out what we can do to just change that. And I'm blessed that he was not someone that was just like, oh, just start taking this medicine and it should start to help, and just kind of putting the band-aid on. There's always a time and place for medication. Don't get me wrong. I don't think either one of us are saying not to take anything, but at the same time, it's knowing what your body needs and knowing the result. Um, if you don't change can be really powerful too. And I love that once it's so true. Once you start to see progress and things change, then I'm I know I was personally eager to be like, ooh, if I got this one thing to change, if I got all of those funky symptoms I was having to go away, then what else could I change to better my life, to really embrace the life that I want to live. So, as you said, we wake up in the morning not to go to work, but to go to our passion and support the people that we really have a passion to support.
Yeah, and it's not because you are in a crisis today that it is the end of
Yes.
the world. You may look at it as a beginning of the world. Believe me, when I learned that both of
Mm.
my parents were arrested and and with a laundry list of charges, I thought it was the end of the world.
Oh, I
And
bet.
in fact, my father did not survive. They destroyed my father. But
Yeah.
what was the most important to him, his research actually started to flourish internationally in a way that was not imaginable at the time of this raid. And now we have, a foundation here, a foundation in Europe. We are working with great universities. We have keep funding research programs in a way that we just could not imagine 20 years ago. So
Yeah.
keep marching
Yes.
as long as it is in the right direction.
Mm, wonderful. Beautiful, beautiful. And I know that you have a free gift to offer the audience today. And if my wonderful team wouldn't mind dropping that in the chat box for everybody. And this is your free ebook on how to protect yourself from COVID.
Yes.
Yes.
And whatever
Wonderful.
else may happen, because one of the plant extracts we have been working with has also antiviral properties. And so it's good to know. It's large spectrum. It has not been tested against COVID, of course, but it has large spectrum antiviral activity. So it's good to know about it. And it's about also a lot of other things that are good to the immune system. So I'm happy to share that, again,
Oh,
this wealth of knowledge.
okay. Yes, thank you, thank you. Yeah, I'm very much a component that the more that you learn, the more that you're armed in knowledge with everything, that you're able to make the best decisions for you and for your health. So, thank you so much for that gift, and thank you so much for your time and your passion to continue, you know, uh, integrative medicine and research with that focus on cancer. And I'm just excited to learn what, those of us who don't have cancer, what we can do to change and improve our life so that we can be our happiest and healthiest, and have that energy and connect to our passion again. So thank you.
And for those who want to learn more about what we are doing,
Mhm.
beljanski.org, you can contact us.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. It was such a pleasure. We've talked before, but it's nice to see you face to face. And again, thank you for your time.
Thank you for the invitation and the opportunity.
Oh, you are so, so welcome. You are so welcome.